computer is morning, Bill.
Morning, Bill.
I was like mouth agape, like then live flush.
Man, what kind of friend am I to like ask you a question and then hit go live? Man, I just set you up for failure. I'm so sorry, Bill.
I might as well have had cut off a nice piece of steak and and then you're like, so what's going on in your life, Jake?
just ruin it completely.
Yeah. So I woke up and did my routines and didn't even open up my computer until I opened up to hit StreamYard Go, and my computer was dead.
Dead, like battery dead.
Yeah, battery dead.
Okay, interesting.
Mine
never leaves really this station, so it's just always charged. It doesn't even feel like a laptop anymore. I mean, it is, but I don't ever take it anywhere.
I still treat it like a laptop in that I unplug it and plug it back in just to cycle the battery more healthily, I guess, if you will, because I think technically between 80 and 20 is where you're supposed to keep it for long-term health. But
oh, really? I didn't think that was a thing anymore. I thought that they had kind of fixed that so that way it wasn't really an issue. Hold on.
Well,
mine's off the battery.
My laptop is about 7 or 8 years old, so I think it's still part of that generation. So hopefully the next one won't be.
Yeah, I've got the one with the touch bar, right? So initially I was super excited about the touchpad, the touch bar, because it changed based upon the app, but when you don't really use it as a laptop, which is kind of not what I'm doing here, I don't ever even see that thing because I have this other keyboard that I use. So it's largely just a gimmick. So
I think it is. Even when I was using it, and I was using it for video production, because I had a touch bar one, and same thing. It hardly ever changed. And when it did, it wasn't that useful. Like the shortcuts weren't that useful. I think it's just one of those things in theory that was cool, but not worth extra money.
I will say the fingerprint reader to get stuff to unlock is nice, but that's not exclusive or anything. Man, how was yesterday, buddy?
It was good. I went hard before lunch. I got a lot done.
Yeah.
And then after lunch, I floated a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit in holiday mode still, I think, because
I
flooded after lunch.
I had a rough day yesterday mentally. What time was that? At about 12:45, I was so scattered and so all over the place. I just had to go put it all down and go sit for 30 minutes and meditate. I was just all over the place. Just a mix of chaos of things, of potential change and stuff like that, in addition to these deals that are still in process. The conversation is still going, but yeah, it was a very odd day yesterday. But yeah, hoping that today gets better. It has to be, right? Cannot get much worse than yesterday. I am getting a haircut today, which is kind of interesting.
What?
Yes.
So is this like a trim or is this like a cut?
It's a trim.
Okay.
A woman who worked in a salon that I used to go to, because I would see her boss. She was apprenticing under him. I messaged her and said, "Hey, would you be open?" And so she said, "Sure." And I said, "Okay, cool. Odd question. Will you come to our house and do it?" And so we're all going to get trims, me, Melissa, and the kiddo and stuff like that. So friend of mine, Tony, is going to come take some photos of me with the new look, right?
Got it.
Also for the book and everything. So we want to make sure that this Civil War reenactment hairdo I have going on over here is in the best light and shape possible. Because literally, if I take the headphones off for just a second, right, and I shake this glorious beast out, right, literally, hold on, look how cool I look. Watch this. Hold on. I'm going to grab this right here. It looks like I should be in a Civil War style, like oil painting, like
Yep. Yeah.
I can remember being in like 4th or 5th grade and you start reading about the Civil War and you see the photos and you see the guys with the ridiculous hair and the ridiculous sideburns and you're like, man, I don't ever want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm now that guy. So
now you have the mutton chops.
I do have the mutton chops, right? Eventually I might just like shave the mustache, but like leave the rest of it. And that would be super like Civil War era, right?
Oh no, please no. I'll start a petition for that one.
Eventually I'm going to have to shave this just that way I can do the thing that every guy does where they like shave off parts of it and take a picture and shave off another part and take a picture. But I might get thrown out of the house if I do it right now. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. My parents do the same thing with the haircuts. That they have a lady that's local that just comes to their house once a month and trims them up.
Chris Rivera, I love the intensity and I appreciate the consistency. What you got going on that you can't stay long? Share with us, friend. You got some good work.
That dude's busy all the time.
Michelle, good morning. It's good to see you. You and I have a meeting tomorrow. It's going to be dope. It's going to be awesome. Very exciting. Yeah, man, weird day yesterday, weird mindset throughout the whole day. And it was kind of rubbing off on the girls a little bit, right? Because I was in task mode, but there was like a bit of a funk attached to the task mode. And so, Melissa knows me very, very well. And so like, she was kind of, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just in task mode. Right. And then I got done with work. And so then I was still in task mode. So it was like, cool. Like, let's knock out the laundry. Let's take out the trash. Let's do all of these things. And, I got a lot done, I guess. Got paid on a nice invoice that came from my Christmas Sherpa offer. Yeah, it was good. Slack was down yesterday, so like all of work was kind of shut down yesterday for a little bit. I was like, man, this is a huge flaw in like how I run my business because like I'm in client Slacks so that way I can communicate with their teams. I have Slacks. The real estate mastermind has a Slack group. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing for sure.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Right. If you're so how much does the CEO get involved into the nitty-gritty of like planning? Like, in your opinion, do you think they show up and say, hey guys, like, because like I think it kind of depends upon your methodology and your philosophy about how you're hire and process driven and everything else like this. But like I think that the better your team is, the more the CEO can just say, okay, cool, here's my one goal. And I think that this is going to solve for everything else. You guys are really smart. Figure out how we're going to get to this goal.
It can be. I think it depends on the CEO, because if I was a CEO, strategy's in my top 5. So like that is a skill set that I have that is helpful for the team. Now, if I have somebody who's better at strategy than me on the team, then I should be listening to them probably. But I don't know. I think it's a balance. I think you're right. At the end of the day, the CEO should be the head coach on a football team. They're supposed to make sure everyone's fired up and all going in the same direction, and everyone has good plans, and they have the experts are where they're supposed to be. And that that head coach helps draw up the game plans too, but it's not his ultimate job. It's more like the overall coordinator of everybody. So, but it's the same thing with head coaches in football. Like you have people that were formerly offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators, so they have a knack for one side of the ball, so they tend to be more involved on that side as a head coach. Same idea. So I think that only becomes a detriment when you start undercutting the people that you've hired to actually do that work. But I don't have a problem with a CEO saying like, well, have we looked at this and this? Because, I did this for 15 years and have we looked at these 3 angles? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then let's roll.
Yeah. So we're doing some planning for the CEO, or I'm sorry, the real estate mastermind group, right? Trying to plan out our core one, our initiatives and what we're going to do. And so we're using the 12-week year because I really like it. And so we're taking 3 initiatives And since we have three partners in the group, I'm the sales partner, we have a process and scaling partner, and then we have a marketing partner. Yeah, I was like, hey, this makes perfect sense. We need one sales goal, one marketing goal, one process or one like process and scaling goal, right? So we had our meeting and I was like, cool, like this is what I want to do. I would like to have 400 people opted in to the list, so that way we can have conversations with them about the group and about what we're trying to do, so that way we're getting feedback from them about like what they're really needing help with, right? Because of course we have our assumptions, and one of the guys is actually a real estate agent, but we want to make sure that there's value for the people who are like actually in the group. So I was like, awesome, I would like to have 400 conversations. Here's what I need to feel comfortable in my 400 conversations. And one of them was like an outline of how we're going to deliver the things we're going to deliver inside the group, right? Which is like the scaling component. And then the other part is we're going to offer a lead management system of go high level to our clients, and we're going to customize it for real estate agents. And so I'm like, I need to know for sure that the guy who's in real estate in this group can run his business out of here at the level that he wants to. So that allows us to work on the marketing component, allows us to work on our own scaling component because we're creating processes and everything else. And then I'm working on the sales conversations over here, right? Until we find someone to replace me to do that. And got a little pushback that I was moving the goalposts a little bit, which we're going to dig into a little bit more today. I wasn't in the best headspace as we discussed yesterday. So it was kind of a unique situation because like both of these guys are really, really good at what they do. So it's like, you guys said we wanted to do this. Let's do this. 3 goals. Let's go kind of deal. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. And then I did some reading about it. Was curious about your opinion.
Which part did they feel like the goalposts were getting pushed on, I guess?
Normally what happens in these planning sessions is that I get a lot more into the weeds. Like, ooh, let's do this. Ooh, let's do this. Ooh, let's do this. And I'm trying very hard to not do as much of that this year because I get really fascinated by this. I love the marketing component. I just think it's endlessly fascinating and what you can do with like software and automations and how far is too far and everything. I think that's endlessly fascinating. And I also love like diagramming out like the processes and like, here's what we're going to deliver and here's what we offer and stuff. I love all that stuff, but I don't have time to just like be in that in addition to the other things that I have going on. So when I was trying to figure out mindset stuff for this year, it's like, I need to be able to zoom out a little bit, right? And operate at this level where like, I'm just in my strengths and I'm not chasing as many of these kind of shiny black things down time rabbit holes. So
yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge of an entrepreneur, because I believe that every single entrepreneur has a curious mind if they're actually an entrepreneur. And so that's just something that's a strength of ours. But it's like you say, it can always become a weakness. So if you have these lanes that you're supposed to stay in, and then you have the accountability around you to say, hey, bro, I know that's curiously awesome, but that's not the lane you're in. I think that's the only way you can really do that, because it's built into us.
And the thing is like if we run into an issue, right, or if I need to be in the weeds around some of these other things, then I'm going to go figure it out, right? Like, and that's not really what I need to be doing in this spot, right? I need to be having the sales side of it, and I need to make sure that like the whole thing is moving forward. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. I didn't set expectations that I was trying to like change my view of it. So I think it came across a little bit maybe brash, and then my mindset was just so rigid yesterday. God, I was uncompromising and just kind of irritable the majority of the day.
I guess
so. I'm wearing my power shirt today, my Hamilton shirt. Just like the country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. So I'm trying to get myself back in the good mindset, right? So
yeah. Well, I mean, as you know, I think the rigidity can come across as a lot of different things. But it's not intended to be just because of the attitude around it. So it may have just been that.
That's fair.
Or largely that.
Yeah. What do you got today, Bill?
So tomorrow's Wednesday, and it's my first Wednesday back to school.
Oh, yeah.
So it's another Thursday, Tuesday.
Wait, hold on.
I get 3 Thursdays this week.
How do you get 3?
Well, yesterday was a Thursday. It was heavy. Like I just happened to kill the first half of the day, and so like I gave myself a lazy Monday afternoon when I shouldn't have.
Mhm.
And then today will be a Thursday because I have a lot to do, and it feels like a lot because tomorrow's coming. And then tomorrow I'm going blank. I'm going AWOL like I'm supposed to. I'm not even going to bring anything. I'm going to keep my phone in my bag, and I'm going to do it upright. And then Thursday, I'm assuming it's going to be like a normal Thursday because I have a Wednesday. So it's heavy today. I've got writing to do. I've got a couple more client things to pick up on. We've got today. We're actually officially launching our giveaway with Quirk. It's our big beginning of year giveaway.
I got the emails. You guys are a little heavy on your email frequency.
So we got some feedback. We got some stuff from a couple clients, and James didn't realize over the holidays, we actually sat down on a call and looked through that stuff together. I was like, man, this is a lot of email. He's like, man, this is a lot of email. Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to lie. I unsubbed.
That's what we had actual clients too. Go, hey, we just want to make sure everything's cool because we're about to unsub. So they were nice enough to like inform us, and say that. So we went back through the email stuff yesterday, and I was like, bro, that's like 8 emails in 4 days. Like that's
a lot.
Much. Yeah. So we're dialing that back. Like I don't know if that just got to be. I don't know how it got there because I'm not the one in charge of timing and content and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we heard that. So that's even the people who do it for a living get caught up in those traps.
Well, there's very conflicting schools of thought on this, right? Because like some people are saying, hey, if you're not getting unsubs, you're not doing a good job of being your true authentic self, which I'm like, yeah, okay, right? And then some people talk about how like marketing fatigue isn't really a thing. And I think that mostly applies to social because like the algorithms are not going to show everything that you're posting and stuff. Yeah. Email is still this like trusted channel, I got this cold pitch the other day, just out of the blue, cold email. Oh, hey, we helped this and this and this and this. Do you want to have a chat? No.
Yeah, no.
Right? No. And then I was sitting and I was thinking about it. We get all this crap in our mailboxes. Mm-hmm. We get all of this crap in our mailbox, all the junk mail and everything else like this. And like, we can't do anything about it. Right. And now we're building this situations that we have to go through the same crap digitally. That sucks. Like sucks a lot.
And it's worse. It's worse than the inbox.
Oh, it's way. I mean, so I would say that like inbox it's already like accepted though. Right. You get those like cold emails, and the hey, I get this all the time. Like I want to be your developer, right? I can help you with your site. And then they send you the Loom video that like nobody ever clicks on. It's like, this is not a good sales process because nobody wants to be told that their baby's ugly, which is essentially what you're doing. And I've had lots of those conversations back when I was in website days. Hey, you want to update? My cousin made this for me. How dare you? Whoa. Okay. Sorry. So the next thing is going to be your text message. Like that's
we're already there.
That's the new frontier, though. I mean, we're still in the early adopter phase of
very much
SMS messaging.
But it's coming, and we're already there. It's because pretty much every I don't know how you describe it, where you put the line up. There's a lot of retail shops that offer those text. Discount clubs, right? Basically is what they are.
Yeah.
To text you stuff. And one, for example, is Meet You Anywhere. It's a barbecue place up here. It's fantastic. It's a really, really great barbecue place. And they're on top of it. Like they text at least once a week. And they'll tell you what's coming up because they have fresh meat. So they have
okay.
Yeah, so they'll have cuts and stuff that different weeks that they don't have every week. So once a week they'll update you with like, hey, these cuts of meat are coming in this week. Love to see you for lunch or something like that. Mm-hmm. They're on the edge for me because I don't not want stuff more than once a week for sure from a restaurant. but they have cooking classes. So they mix it up. It's not just hey, come eat our food, right? But to me, and what do you think about this? I even think that the text is more sacred than the email inbox. It's the last big frontier. Yeah, because it's sitting in my pocket on me, whereas my email still doesn't feel like it's on me. It feels like it's out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's the most personal.
I was reading an article yesterday that was talking about the different, because now the Apple App Store, it's showing how many like permissions and how much of your data these apps that you download are collecting, right? And it had a breakdown of the different like messaging apps and stuff. And way over here was this one called Signal that's just like, hey, we just need your phone number to verify you. And then all the way over here on this end, hold on, it's still going. It's still going. It's still going. All the way over here is Facebook Messenger. And
oh my gosh.
Good God, the stuff they collect on you, right? Your financial situation, your photos, your video, they can just listen to that stuff whenever they want to. I mean, it is the list of the permissions you give them is endless. I'm like, I need to get this off my phone. Like, this is kind of crazy because like I have it running here on this other monitor like all the time because I'm always in DM chats and everything else. But that doesn't necessarily mean I need to have it on my phone, right? And having that distance would probably be helpful. It just makes me wildly uncomfortable. So
yeah, I have this argument with my father-in-law all the time, who is military police in the Army during the Kennedy days, right? So he's got that definite like pre-Cold War mentality, and he's like, you got to do this, you got to do this. I'm like, we're already way past that. Like that, he still like protects his social security number with like a Beretta. It's like it's that level. I'm like, I get it. That's the era he's from, right? But like, your information is long gone. Like people have it already. It's like how they use it that you can protect at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the mighty Facebook is about to faceplant a little bit here in the next year or two, just because everybody up in Capitol Hill now is against them, not just certain groups, like all of Congress and like the Supreme Court, like everybody's involved now. So it's like, okay, well, it'll change some way somehow.
I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're apparently going to court over the whole like monopoly thing and it's funny because like an article that I read about it was that this antitrust situation hinges on like emails that he sent to people that said, hey, it's just easier to buy than to try to innovate. And like that is like a centralized linchpin to the whole process. Yeah. But on the other side of it, right, mergers and acquisitions happen all the freaking time, right? And like back in the day, whenever like Romney was like running and they were talking about Bain Capital or whatever his company was, and like some of the terrible deals that they were doing, and it's like, are you just choosing to make an example of this? Is it really that much different?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they're just making an example of him because he's the biggest one for sure. I think. Yeah. I mean, there's some of both, obviously, but I know that you said the linchpin is the emails, but I've read that they're working on the monopoly side and the data collection side. It's become so egregious because I think there's been some embarrassing things happen to people in Congress and their families due to Facebook. So you know how it is. I don't care until it affects me, right?
Yeah.
Human. So once it hit them, they're like, oh, but this is horrible. Yeah.
So I've been trying very hard not to read political news, but I saw this thing yesterday of this congresswoman from, I think she's from Colorado, who has just said that she's going to start wearing a Glock.
Briefly saw that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now the police chief of Washington, D.C. is like, if she chooses to wear a weapon, she will have the same force of the law as like anybody else. And I'm like, okay. So then I Googled this woman, right, in an incognito tab because I didn't want any of that crap like coming back and like tracking me and stuff. Every photo of this woman that she's not like in like Capitol Hill get up, she has this huge holster with this huge pistol, like every shot. I'm like, man, talk about being one note, right? That's
He loves that game.
that was crazy to me. I couldn't believe that the audacity of some people to be like, oh, hey, it's cool. It doesn't really matter that this hasn't ever happened before. Yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway, and you're not going to tell me anything about it. You know, it astounds me.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Okay. So for me today, right, I've got the family law group and about 4 minutes with Levi. I've got this whole haircut thing that I'm going to go first so that I can get mine done so that I can get back to work. In the beard trim as well. I've never had like an actual thing, so that'll be interesting. Mastermind group, planning, and then sales practice lab at 2. And then I've got a coffee with a guy that I met in the underdog group. And that's it. I'm sure I'll find a lot more to do because I've got a big window in there. So, one thing that we're talking about doing is the Sherpa sales course, right? Has got video content as well as like written content. And so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the entire course and release a version of it of just the written content for like $150 or, $150 marked down to like $100. And I'm going to put that on the Sumo marketplace.
Okay.
Right. And so that way I'm getting a whole lot of people into the thing because, I've been talking about this with you and with everybody else I know about like pricing and everything else. And the thing that people kept asking me, right, in this one Slack group was like, are you trying to help? Are you trying to make money? And this would like irritate me because I'm like, why can't you do both of these things, at the same time? Because like, I firmly believe that you can, but the starting point requires an optimization point, right? Do I want to go around and like try to do this thing, or do I really want to be okay with the fact that most people don't finish courses? So let's just make it super easy so that way they dive into that and then they realize, oh, I need practice at this. Sales practice lab. So
yeah. Which is that's the one that I think makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Because when you know the data, people just don't. They just don't. They don't finish, and then they don't. Well, on top of that, they don't apply. So you need people on your hand. So
I was talking with Manesh, who was a guest on this show a couple of months ago, and he was like, I probably bought 60 courses because every year I tell myself that I want to set aside money for like developing myself, and I've never finished any of them. And I was like, man, that's crazy. I am the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Right. But somebody told me, and I don't know if this is a true number or not, but like only like 8% of all courses actually get done. Like that's an absurd amount. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, less than 10% is what I've read from the data. Like of all the courses that are tracked, less than 10% reach completion. Yep.
That's crazy.
And I'm with you too. I finish a lot of the courses. I finish about 80% of the courses that I buy, but my application of the data or the learning is low. And I even at the beginning of this past year, 2020, I think I'd mentioned it on the show when we came on initially, was that I normally read between 50 and 100 books a year. And this year I was like, I'm so sick of not applying the stuff that I've learned. There's more up here that I know that I should be applying that I need any new books for. And so I didn't commit to any number this year. I mean, I said 3, I think.
Yeah.
I ended up reading about 15 or 16 books just because I love to read. But the application is so much more important.
It's funny. I got connected with this guy who works on Wall Street for a pretty legit company, and got connected through my friend Mike, who's a poker player, and this guy also plays poker. And we're chatting because they were all playing because it was the weekend, and there was lots of tournaments and everything. And so like we're all chatting on Discord, and they're streaming, and I'm watching and stuff. And then me and this guy get connected, and Mike is kind of like the central linchpin. And, this guy is into like stoicism, right? Like inside of it, he's like a data analyst for a huge company. And, so we're talking about books, and, he's like, man, did you read anything good last year? And I wanted to be like, I really didn't feel like I read that much last year. And then I started to like think through the list, and it's like, I read a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. And just by comparison, right? Because like I live with a woman who reads, her goal is to read I think she reads 40 to 50 fiction books a year,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, that's a lot of books. So,
Wow.
so by comparison to that, I mean, I'm a drop in the bucket, but compared to, I guess, like the average person, it's pretty significant.
Well, and the average person's like one book every 7 years or something. So we're like doing laps. Yeah. If you go look, it's insane. Yeah. Like if the last one I looked at was, when's the last time you read a book? And most people said high school.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. I don't even know.
And it was staggering. It was like 84% said something like high school or college.
Man. Dude,
and guess who most of the readers are? Women.
Really?
Women are most of the readers. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, like 70-30, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, I got to go coach, and you got to go do your stuff because you have 2-a-day Thursdays. Look who's here. Michael Ryan is here. Yeah. What? Michael Ryan. Love that. Hey,
Michael, what's up, man? Yeah.
Audiobooks do count for, yeah. I mean, I think so. I think it depends upon how you consume them, right? If it's just like mindless white noise in the back, then that's right. One thing. But like I will, like the way that I try to go through an audiobook is like I'll listen to it, journal about it, and then I try to go read 4 to 5 kind of like in-depth looks at it because I want to see the nuggets that other people are seeing from it. So I kind of have this process of trying to drag all of that out because I just finished The Power of Now, that Eckhart Tolle book, which man, the audio of that was rough. His voice is so weird, right? And it almost feels like he's like trying too hard to be this like mystical guru guy. And it's like in this kind of interview format with the US publisher and the Canadian publisher. And it was a slog, right? And so Melissa was like, should I read this one? I was like, no, because I mean, she didn't even like Stillness is the Key. Not that she didn't like it, but you know, she was just kind of not as into it as I was. Yeah. But yeah, so I would say that audiobooks count. I mean, so if we count audiobooks, I'm probably 50, 60. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I listen to stuff every morning, so I don't know.
I'll totally count. There's a great book, by the way, called How to Read a Book. I don't know if you've ever read it.
Actually.
So there's this philosophy that the brain takes in information certain ways, mm-hmm. and the way that your intention around the way you read, you just mentioned a perfect version of that. You listening and then going and taking notes, but there are literally different ways to read a book with different intention, and your brain will retain different ways, things like that. It's a homeschool book because it's teaching people how to consume information differently. But it's not created by homeschoolers. It's just one that we have in our curriculum. It's an old book too. I think it's from like the 1920s or something. But that would be one to check out if you're interested in that sort of thing.
That is cool. I need to check that out.
Auditory is. I'll trade you. I'll bring you that one, and I'll take Stillness is the Key. How about that?
Man, I love you, but no.
No. I'll have to buy it.
Those books are on the do not borrow list for me. Right. Like, I mean, yeah. Sorry, man. I love you, buddy. I'll buy you a copy, but you can't have mine, right? It's got highlights and notes in it, and all of it. That's why I want it. It drove Melissa nuts as she was reading it because she hates like the dog earing of the pages and the highlights and the notes and the edges and stuff. And I normally don't do a whole lot of that, but in this one I was because I wanted the takeaways because I'm trying to be better about creating book reports. And there's a book report on John Small Mountain about Stillness is the Key. If anybody wants to go check it out, we can put a link in here. Yeah, she was like, oh, the highlighting. She's like, is it really helpful? And I'm like, how would it not be helpful? Like what a crazy question that is.
Right. So, why would I be doing it if it wasn't? It's a lot of trouble. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do. Sorry, I'll let you go. Is reading other people's highlights and dog ears and stuff like that. Because that to me is what you're talking about, going and researching other people's.
That's fair. Yeah.
From the book, you get it right there. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, have a great Thursday because you're having like the weekly version of 2-a-days for Thursdays, and I'm trying to figure out a better way to say that. Man, we're gonna have so many shirts eventually. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, 3 Thursday. It's a 3 Thursday week.
It's a 3 Thursday week. It's like a 5-alarm chili.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you to Michael Ryan for coming out and hanging out with us, because he is not one of the regulars, but hopefully this was a great enough option that he will do so. Michelle, thank you so much. You have a great day as well. Levi, and you have a great day. I'm going to see you in just a second. And Chris Rivera, I hope your day was killing it. And it was apparently so good, you couldn't even say what was going on. So you guys all have great days, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.
Bye.